Welcome to our presentation on Google App Engine. What is Google App Engine? Google App Engine is a platform as a service. It's similar to services provided by Microsoft or Amazon, but maybe a little bit more limited in some of its capabilities. Google App Engine focuses solely on providing infrastructure for web apps and doesn't provide some of the other cloud services commonly used. Google App Engine is just one piece of Google's overall Google Cloud Platform services. One of the most important questions that we can ask is it easy or difficult to use? The answer is, it is easy.
That was easy.
Building with Google App Engine is super easy. The app is easy to build and easy to maintain. Once your application is deployed to the cloud, Google handles the rest. They have server administrator, database administrators, and network administrators. This allows us, as developers, to really focus on including the features that the app needs.
To show you how Google App Engine makes this so easy, we need to understand what a Google App Engine instance is. So these instances are fully managed sandbox environments that contain everything that our application needs to run. So let's say at the start of the day, we have a bunch of users who log into our application and start sending requests. At the start, we don't have very many users, so maybe we only need one instance to be running. Later on in the day, we get a lot more users logged on who start making many more requests. As needed, the Google App Engine will spin up another instance and another instance to ensure that our users are still having quality experience and to make sure that we are able to handle each request as it is made. Near the end of the day, our users start to log off of the system and stop sending requests. As the users and requests diminish, Google App Engine starts shutting down the instances until we are running at the availability that is needed. This scalability is really important and is a major benefit for those using Google App Engine. To give you a real-life experience of a company that uses and is grateful for Google App Engine, watch the following video.
Angry Birds was released in 2009. By the end of 2014, their app had been downloaded 2.5 billion times. Over 600 billion Angry Birds were launched, with gamers earning more than 150 billion stars. That's more stars than our entire Milky Way galaxy has. Imagine the amount of requests, imagine the amount of storage required, and it all happened so fast. Stefan Hawk, the creator of Angry Birds, said our web games tend to be popular immediately, so we don't have the option of scaling them over time. Google App Engine makes the process painless, since it can instantly launch as many servers as we need. If you have a viral product, Google App Engine is definitely for you. So how much does it cost? Each app is free up to a certain usage limit that is reset daily. That means until your app is huge, there's no cost to you. Even if you go over, You're only charged cents for each increase in whatever resource you need. This is much cheaper than having to buy a whole bunch of hardware that will spend most of its time not running, and even cheaper than using other cloud solutions that scale, but not as real time as Google App Engine. So what services are offered, and how might you use these services? If you notice right here, we have a great list of them, and we'll talk about each one briefly. The data store is a NoSQL schemaless object data store, which makes it extremely scalable and robust. That said, Google App Engine also has Google Cloud SQL, which is an API you can configure to give your web app a relational database that lives in Google's cloud. There are also APIs available to allow you to tap into big data. Memcache stands for in-memory data cache. This drastically speeds up data requests as we get information stored in Memcache rather than having to go to the data store each time. Task queues allow your apps to perform work outside of user requests. These small and discrete tasks can run in the background or executed later. Scheduled tasks or cron jobs are also a standard feature used by Google App Engine, as well as email and chat functionality. If you need to get external resources for any reason, you can use URL fetch. User authentication. This allows your app to sign users in with their existing Google account email addresses and Google's own unique identifiers. Security scanner. Google App Engine comes with pre-built insecurity measures. Your app will automatically scan for and detect common web security vulnerabilities, such as mixed content and cross-site scripting. Search. Use Google-like searches over structured data such as plain text, HTML, atom, numbers, dates, and geolocations. Traffic splitting. Route incoming requests to different app versions. You can run A/B tests to do incremental feature rollouts. Logging. Gives you programmatic access to application and request logs from within your app.
What level of reliability does Google App Engine provide? Google App Engine is very reliable because your applications and your data are both spread across Google's own data centers. Google promises in their service level agreements they will provide monthly uptime percentages of at least 99.95%. Think about it this way. How often have you visited the webpage google.com and had it be down? I've never seen this happen. Google handles 3.5 billion searches per day, and with Google App Engine, they are allowing you to build your app on the same infrastructure. I'd say that's more than pretty reliable. So what technologies are supported? Currently, Google App Engine supports apps built with Python on Django, Web2Py, CherryPy, Pyramid, and many other frameworks. They also support Java and its many different frameworks. Jetty Web Server is a core technology for these Java apps. Other languages that are supported also include Go and PHP. Node.js is also available in Google App Engine with the managed VM environment. Their app engine was written to be language independent, so Google has plans to support additional languages and frameworks in time. So is this good for a small business or a large one? The real value of the App Engine lies in the specialization. In one of the ads for the Google App Engine, a database admin from Spotify says, "The less time we can spend trying to solve problems that have already been solved, such as scaling our data center, the more time we can spend turning our data into value." This highlights the most valuable feature of the Google App Engine, its scalability. Google can easily ramp up the infrastructure of an app to meet real-time need, then scale down after the peak. That scalability makes the Google App Engine a good fit for small businesses trying to make the leap by providing a project with as few fixed costs as possible, as well for time-sensitive projects from bigger companies. As you can see, there's some very large companies that use the Google App Engine, including Spotify, Coca-Cola, and Best Buy. So when wouldn't it make sense? The Google App Engine makes sense for a lot of companies, especially for those who want to get apps out into the market without spending loads of time and money on infrastructure. But the App Engine will never get cheaper than when a company first starts using it. As the app grows, the company will continue to pay increased costs. A more traditional approach, shown by this orange line, will take a much higher fixed cost up front, but then as time goes on, you'll have lower variable costs. Therefore, if you have an enterprise where you've already spent the money on those fixed costs, such as BYU, it doesn't really make sense to switch over to the Google App Engine if you've already paid all those fixed costs, because your variable costs are lower. Another reason why not to use the Google App Engine is for security. As with any cloud infrastructure, you give up a little bit of control when you switch to the Google App Engine, and having the data offsite means that you don't have that control anymore. So some organizations that handle like super hypersensitive information, like maybe the U.S. government, probably want a little more control over their data, and so they probably wouldn't want to use something like the Google App Engine. That is the Google App Engine.
Yay!